Alright, so today's video is going to be a full compilation video of everything maintenance. I started to film the Q&A video but realized maybe 7 out of 10 of the questions was maintenance related. So I figure I'll share like all of the maintenance that I've done with my printer since I purchased it, 4 months ago now. So if you have a lot of questions about DTF printing, the maintenance, the good, the bad, the ugly, you want to watch this video. So since I've gotten my printer, I've done a print head flush, I've done a print head change. I changed the motherboard in my heater. You're also going to see like the normal maintenance, like changing the film roll and then also changing out like some ink. I'm super excited for you guys to watch this video. If you still have any questions after the video, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to answer them on my next video, which will definitely be the Q&A and things that I have not answered in this video. So I love all of the comments, so please leave me comments when I get them. I'm super excited to read them and to respond. I respond to every single comment I receive. When I see comments and when I see a new subscriber or if I get a thumbs up, it makes me want to keep going. So if you are feeling my direct to film printing journey, please subscribe and like this video and my other ones. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. Okay, and I thought it would be fair to mention the reason I had to do the print head change. So basically, and this was like maybe 30 days after getting my printer. So yes, I almost lost it. So basically the cyan ink, which is the blue ink, when I was doing my test print, it was, okay, 1 second, I'll go get it. Sorry, I'm hiding from my baby, so another area. So the cyan ink, which is the blue ink, it wasn't producing like straight lines when I was doing my test. It was pretty much gappy, maybe 3 or 4 lines max. After doing some troubleshooting, it led to doing the print head flush, which didn't work, and then led to the print head change because I'm pretty sure I flooded out my print heads with Windex. The technician, I will say, was super nice. His name was Stefan, super cool. He even set up like a virtual call with me whenever I needed him to. They sent me the new print head, and that's also a plus about getting my printer through an actual company. I had a warranty, so I didn't have to purchase the new print head. He also replaced like the inks that I lost just for the inconvenience of me being out of commission for a few days, so that was also a plus. So after doing the print head change, there was still the same issue with the cyan, barely making color, and we probably waited overnight to see if anything would change. When he called me back the next day, which was awesome, he had an idea to check like the housing station. When the printer isn't in use, the print head goes back over the housing for your white inks and then for all the colorful inks, and it pretty much keeps it moist. He asked me to use my camera and look down into that area, and we were able to see that the print head was not closing over that capping station at night. So that was pretty much allowing air to get into those holes. So he took control of my laptop. He did some alterations and some alignments and everything. And he was able to kind of like, it was kind of like a video game. It was kind of like one of those games where you like grab whatever. Anyway, he was able to get my print head back over the capping station and make sure that it was sealing properly. Another technician also recommended that I leave my printer running. And since then, I haven't had any issues with color at all. The printer does a self-cleaning like maybe every 30 minutes and I can hear it cleaning throughout the day. It's loud, but it's not that loud. And it definitely beats going through that all over again. So my heater is jacked up, and after doing some troubleshooting with Coldesi, we figured out that the issue is within the head of the actual heater. Basically, the take-up roll isn't propelling on its own. I'm having to manually push the film through the powder and then through the heater, which has been hell. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the head. They sent me a replacement part for it and no instructions, but he pretty much said that I'll just follow what's currently in there right now. The main goal is to unplug the machine, and it's unplugged. So here's the piece that we're going to be replacing. Oh yeah, and if you haven't noticed already, your girl got a new camera. All right, as you can see, the heater is unplugged. So here's the new piece that I'm going to be adding on. So here, this is what the inside of the heater looks like, in case you never knew. And this piece just comes off. And inside, I'm going to be basically swapping this little piece out with the replacement. And it should be a complete match or a twin. This way. I'm going to be removing all of those cords off of this one and moving it to that one. And then we'll test it out to see how it goes. I have an order to print after this, so that'll be perfect. So let's first take a picture, and then we're going to basically copy everything from there. These magnetic screws won't hurt. Okay. Now I'm thinking, should I just do this and look? Nah, too much. I'm doing too much. Okay, I don't know what kind of screwdriver I need for this, but a normal Phillips head isn't working. This is like a 4-piece, but it has like thick edges, you can see. So weird. So I'm gonna go downstairs to see if I can find it. Okay, so these are the other screws, and that's like a regular screwdriver worked for them. All right, I'm gonna have to call in some reinforcement. Where my husband at? But no, this is the screwdriver. This is the screw hole. And this one looks like this. I promise they are not coming out. I don't know what the heck. Maybe because they're all gunky and dirty from the powder and heat and whatever, but I don't know. Is that normal or is it just like corroded? All right, let me try another screwdriver. All right, so I've tried 8,000 screwdrivers and I cannot get this off. And I'm starting to think it's just because of all this gunk that's around these screws from like the DTF powder and heating up and drying up. So I'm going to use this CS solution, which I got from Coldesi. And it works really, really good at taking off like DTF powder as far as like on other parts of my printer. So let's just rub some of this on here, since we're getting rid of this little piece anyway, to see if that helps. And here is my new beautiful board. I have everything in place. I had to call in reinforcement to get those screws out. My husband hooked me up, and I'm just gonna tighten everything down. And we are going to see if this bad boy is working. We are going to see that this bad boy is working, because if it ain't, I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, it's time to test this thing on out. I hope it works. So in here, I have paper all jumbled up. Before, this thing would not stop, okay? So I'm gonna turn it on. And normally, if it's working properly, the powder here will hold this film down, and it'll keep it down as the paper prints and then goes up through the heater. And when it wasn't working properly, it was just continuously going. So this wasn't weighing down, it was just coming directly from the printer and then straight across, like no weight. Terrible. So I was having to like add powder, slowly press this button off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on as the prints were going through. So that was hell. So now let's go ahead and test it out before my battery dies. Let's see. And before it was gonna keep going. Let's see if it, yay, my baby. It works. Awesome. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I love that. Yes. See, put your hand in, it just test. See that? Perfect. I'm excited again. Now, let's get back to printing. All right, today I'm going to change out my roll of film. As you can see, your girl been working. All right, check out your girl's camera. I got a whole new camera, super excited. Oh yeah. Looking good. I do have to get a better tripod though, but whatever. All right, let's see if we can focus. Look at that autofocus. Whoop. I'm on a video. Okay, baby? I love you. Let me finish my video, okay? Bye-bye. Bye. Mwah. Real life, right? Okay, one day I'm gonna shoot a video of what it really looks like. All the chaos. If y'all wanna see that, let me know. Because I'll do like a day in the life. It's bananas. Working, a 9 to 5, printing, momming, it's a whole thing. So, and I'm a wife. I be cooking and cleaning. Yeah, it's wild. But anyway, you're probably wondering why in the world I have this white stick up here, and you'll learn like all my little random hacks through this whole process. In my head, no, but seriously, when the inks are getting low, I like to keep it on the top just for weight, and pretty much pushes it to the front. So therefore, I don't have like any gapping or anything like that in my designs. Also, I like to hang them up for the same reason. This one is still hanging up while these are laying down because it had like a little, I don't know, I feel like a little tear in it. So we're just gonna keep it up high. Now, since I've been printing, I like, how do I say this? I have the perfect placement for where my film goes onto the roll. Don't mind me stooping down. I'm not used to this whole recording thing yet. So let's just keep going. I want to keep it pretty much in the same position. All right, this view should help. So basically where the film goes into the printer, it's like the perfect placement. So after printing for a while, I know if my paper is off. It'll start like gapping a little bit, like while it's going through the printer. So this is like the perfect placement from here to here. So I like to put a mark on here, like with a marker, so I don't go past that point, like when I'm tightening it back up, because I'm gonna have to open this up in order to pull this roll off and to replace it. All right, good. Here's the paper, and I get all of my supplies from the company that I purchased from, okay? Here you can void your warranty if you don't. We don't want those kind of problems. The last one I got didn't have these little things in it. And the last one I received didn't have this logo on it either. all I'm saying. Every time I get a new roll of film, I always do like test prints first, just to be safe. And then I also press them with my same instructions, like I have on my instruction card, just to make sure they are pressing properly with the proper temps. I want to make sure my customers are always good. All right, and I hate when the paper is uneven like this because it makes it harder to measure when it goes through the machine, but that's okay. Let's do this. So, I like to hold on to these two, like for my take-up roll on the end of my heater. All right, now when you put the roll on, you want the film to go over and not under. Trust me, I've made that mistake. And the ink was just spilling off the paper. So crazy. I'm like, why aren't my prints staying? Like, what's going on? It was definitely my first time swapping out my film. And I had to go back and watch the video because I'm like, something isn't going right. All right, so I'm just gonna stick this on. But yeah, the ink was just spilling all over, like, off the film. All right, and then I just squeeze it as tight as possible to make sure it's on nice and good. Make sure both sides are even on this. And just kind of eyeball it a little bit just to make sure we're good. I know, I'll be showing out. Turn it up. All right, so I'm just gonna put the paper over, not under. Once again, and another way for me to measure that it's perfect is seeing the paper on this side of this print roller and then on this side of this print roller. And that's what I do also. So I'm just gonna slide this all the way up and I try to focus on the middle. So therefore the paper isn't like lopsided to make sure it's balanced. Push this little lever over here. And you have to push it down just a tad and that lifts the rollers up. See that? And I'm just gonna push the paper through, straight through. And then I can see from here that the paper, it's not even. From here, it's more here and less here. That's another way that I measure. So I'll reach through from back here just to pull that same little lever. So I pretty much just make sure it's steady, and now it looks like a ½ inch here and a ½ inch there, and I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna drop that down. I'm gonna put these little silver plates back over the top, and that pretty much holds my paper down. We're gonna take this tape off. We don't need her anymore. Come back on this side, and here I have these two little silver brackets, I don't know, but they're pretty much paper stoppers, and it just pretty much keeps the paper still. So I can slide them back and forth, and once you turn it this way, you can't really slide it. It's a little harder. So I just slide it here and turn it sideways. And then this one, same thing. And when it's turned up like that, it pretty much keeps the paper, see, you can't move it. It keeps the paper pretty much in place and nice and smooth. So I'm gonna loosen this back up because remember, we need to have, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. All right, we need to have some leadway, you know, that 1 second of push. If I could unloosen it, sure. I guess it's righty-loosey today. See, that's like a 1 second little push. Good, so that way it's not too tight and pulling my paper when I'm printing. All right, cool. So in the last step, feed it up or I'll hit down so it can come straight through. Make sure it's not gapping or bubbling. Nice and smooth. We're good to go. Here are the transfers. They all came out pretty freaking good. We love them. So cute. And they go on and on for days. These ones are super small. I did for the, it's about 2 inches, 2.5. It's for headbands. And then I have ones that are a tad bit bigger, and they're for socks. And they're like 3 inches. Of course, I threw in some extras of everything. And she should be good to go.